AI is nothing but a piece of software, right? And all this, software and all that, it has to follow the physical rules. And there are a lot of hard rules and governs it. If you can break down the task to a manageable size of task and have very clear instructions, they can do it. So I think that's fundamentally the philosophy of today's hybrid AI concept. AI make mistakes and agents sometimes lie, not sometimes, lie all the time. And, for example, the execution plan is laid out, even this agent has to call these tools, go search that information and whatsoever, and then report it. I'm done, success. But it never called that too. But it just lie back right at your face, success.
Welcome, humans, to the Neuron AI Explained. I'm Corey Noles, and I'm joined today by Grant Harvey, as always. Grant, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Corey. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Excited to have this little chat today. Can you tell us a little about who and what we're going to discuss?
Yeah. So today we are talking about where AI actually lives, because most of us experience advanced AI through enormous cloud models, but a growing number of PCs and devices can run smaller models locally. And Intel believes that the next phase will be hybrid. So an intelligent system that decides which tasks belong on your device and which require more powerful infrastructure. And for the record, I also agree with this. Today, we are joined by Dr. Olena Zhu, who leads AI solutions and ecosystems for Intel's client computing group and has helped shape that strategy, including Intel's newly released SuperClaw.
Before we get started, please take just a quick second to like today's video and subscribe above so you never miss an interview or one of our live streams. And on that note, Dr. Zhu, welcome to the Neuron.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm pretty honored. Thank you.
Excellent.
Likewise. Well, if you could, why don't you start with just giving us a little background on yourself and how you got into doing what you're doing at Intel?
Yeah, sounds great. So I grew up in China. So in the early days, I had been already obsessed with math. I think that's everything started. And so my PhD is also heavy math. It's on the computational science side. So when I joined Intel, I started with machine learning for design, basically design all kinds of algorithms to accelerate the silicon platform designs. And in recent years, we started to broaden up and to utilize machine learning and AI and the latest ILP and all this for day-to-day work and productivities and across all kinds of different professionals and disciplines, basically trying to scale the Gen AI usages for Intel devices and platforms. And also for, or across industry, we really want to champion for local AI, hybrid AI usages for much more economical and much more private and safer and sustainable AI future.
Wow.
Much needed.
Yeah.
It's for real. Yeah.
Could you talk us through a little bit what's reaching its limit in the cloud first model of AI and why do you feel like hybrid computing is the most practical path forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. AI is nothing but a piece of software, right? And all this, software and all that, it has to follow the physical rules. And there are a lot of hard rules and governs it. Number one is the economically and from environmentally, right? So we have spent so much tokens, and every company, every individuals, we burn so much token. It's not just coder.
Even just Grant and I.
Yeah.
Oh, We did an assessment of our company's ChatGPT usage, and I think mine was like 800 million tokens, and like
Ooh,
for the month.
It was pretty terrible.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even you just, ask AI to write you a deep research report on some topics, it can easily eat up your entire subscription fee, right?
Yeah.
Within a few hours. So it's really, really hard. It's hard to scale and to sustain for every company. And another aspect is the data privacy, security. On the enterprise side, it's very easy to understand, right? It's a lot of corporate secret data and customer informations, all that. You cannot just easily throw it into cloud, and where does it go? Nobody knows. So I know a lot of the middle layer kind of agent companies, and they said we have a zero data policy, meaning but it still goes somewhere, right? So and
Yeah.
it's that's why, and a lot of government policies, regulations in Europe and a lot of places, and it makes the AI adoption into different verticals become really hard.
Yeah.
And even on the personal side, right, individual wise, there are so many, fake videos and all that. I'm so concerned. I don't want to throw my daughters, any pictures, videos, and to do any of those, those AI automations and things like that. It's
Right.
yeah, it's concerning. It's really concerning. And then on the on the other side is look at if we all centralize this AI infrastructure in data center, and how many data centers do we need? And the water cooling and all these infrastructures, and how much impact even to our day-to-day life. And I saw some articles, and they're doing some in-depth assessment of this massive, data center and impacting the neighborhood power grid, and even impacting every single appliance lifetime,
Wow.
in our household. And also the, like I said, the water pollution, all that. It's not sustainable. Another interesting aspect is for all these big AI companies, model makers and all that, they also struggle, and they want to, push their services to all kinds of users, enterprises, but they are bottlenecked on this infrastructure. They couldn't scale.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just look at Anthropic and how they've had to deal with their troubled rollouts, and all of a sudden you have Fable, and then you don't have Fable, and part
Suddenly
of that is
growth
government.
is the biggest problem you have.
But
Yeah.
you have usage limits where you can't access it right when you're getting to the point where you actually need it. Then you run out for the 5-hour or the weekly limit. It's like, it's very difficult to navigate for everyone involved. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why a lot of this, model vendors and all that, they start to apply, rate limit and the pick limit, all kinds of things. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, if you want to use it for anything creative with video, it's so prohibitively expensive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think you hit on the head of something here that we've chatted about a little bit before, and that's that there really is a lot of incentive for companies to find ways to make this more efficient.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like building data centers isn't cheap business. Like, I'm certain that if it could be done with less, that would be the preference.
Yeah, because then it makes the value of the data centers you do have that much more valuable, and you can serve that many more customers too. So there is certainly efficiencies of scale.
Very interesting.
What's up, humans? Managing virtual desktops across Microsoft environments can get complicated fast. Nerdio Manager for Enterprises brings Azure Virtual Desktop, Windows 365, and Intune together into one console, so IT teams can manage everything without bouncing between portals or stitching together point solutions. Nerdio also helps cut cloud waste automatically. Its intelligent auto-scaling adjusts compute based on real usage, right-sizes machines, and can pre-scale environments before users ever log in. So you're not paying for capacity that you don't need. And don't forget, security and compliance are built in, with automated policy enforcement and real-time threat monitoring included as standard. And for organizations that are moving away from Citrix or other legacy VDI platforms, Nerdio automates much of the migration process to reduce manual work and downtime. More than 15,000 customers already use Nerdio, from mid-size to large enterprises. So get a demo of Nerdio Manager for Enterprise today at getnerdio.com/theneuron. And now back to our show.
So we've heard like versions of the mobile or edge versus cloud debate for years and years and years. What do you think has changed with generative and agentic AI? Do you feel like there's a sense of urgency now that didn't exist before?
Yeah, I think everything is about timing, right? If you look at the history, everything is about timing, every technology and all that. So a lot of the technology like internet, and the web, all that was invented, started, from cloud, but gradually a lot of the modules like Java engines and all that started to running or partially running local for a lot of reasons, performance, privacy, latency, and and the cost reason. So I think gradually it has to be a hybrid architecture, and it has to be partitioned in a reasonable way. Some of these pieces and running on cloud, some of these pieces running on edge. Edge by edge, I mean all kinds of AI devices. And now it's a booming or about the booming of, I call it AI appliance. It's not only,
Right.
it's just like the form factor is changing. And while I was in China, I saw a lot of interesting stuff, AI metrics. And so it would talk to you and, band however ways you want to band and during certain time. It's basically embedding AI into all kinds of devices, and then the computer and all that will all evolve. So the intelligence has to be, distributed, like we just talked about, and sit where it needs to be sit. Right. So it cannot be all centralized in one place. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just not
Absolutely.
sustainable even as much as we would want it to be simple. It's not sustainable to do it that way. And also you mentioned AI devices. Well, imagine if every device in your house was sending everything it hears over the cloud. You probably wouldn't trust that very much. So I think some introspective consumer would probably think, well, I want some of my devices, if I'm going to let them into my home, to stay on the device. And I think that's one reason why we want edge devices.
Yeah. And also there's another perspective to this is the model's capability. Just in recent, a few days or weeks, there was a very, very popular chart on Reddit. There's a hardcore community called Local Llama. And, you guys know this, right?
We know them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a famous chart, and what it says is it really shows from, how long does a model evolves, from a frontier size of frontier model and to become a smaller size of model that can run on laptop. So the analysis started from GPT-3 generation, and it took 37 months.
Wow.
This model, the capability, the level of capability of this model actually came from cloud down to a laptop.
Yeah.
And then analysis every generation, GPT-4, cloud is 3.5, and GPT-5 and all that. So average, it's about 24.8 months, from frontier running in the cloud to a small size model running on
A
laptop.
consumer laptop. Yeah.
Consumer laptop.
Do you think that capability, because it started at 37 months and then now it's to 24, if I'm understanding the chart correctly, is that timeline going to shrink even further then? Do you think?
Yeah. So, and it's just based on this popular discussion, right? And what it says, if trends holds, then Fable meso level classes of the class of model capabilities could running on this high device at the consumer hardwares probably within 2 years. Maybe
Yeah.
it
Wow.
could be
Wild.
shorter. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
It's in 2 years, and
Yeah.
it's like next year this time we can run Cloud 4 level of capabilities on
Yeah.
a high-end laptop.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Something
important.
something I'm wondering is that, like, local AI is always sold through this kind of the privacy pitch is the idea. Like, your data never leaves your device. But at the same time, right now, local models are generally less capable than frontier cloud models, and that may continue to be the case for a while, at least for some amount of time, maybe, depending on the news of the week. Do you think that's a trade-off users are willing to make, a certain amount of intelligence for a certain amount of privacy and security?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, if you're running everything local and you get all these benefits, you control your data and privacy and all that. But like you said, and even model has been progressing really fast. But today, running on local devices, we still see a delta between local and frontier models, right? So, but the user, why we use AI is we want AI to work for us.
Right. Right.
And then, so the quality is important,
Yeah.
like say, I'm not counting on my 9-year-old daughter to do some serious stuff because the quality is not there. But AI is like this, right? Different size of models is kind of like, different similarities. And the smaller model is more like a middle schooler, and the frontier is like a college student type of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, but then how do we accelerate like a middle schooler to put this to, this AI to work and still deliver reasonable quality? And that's how we actually pair them together. They need mentors. They need supervisors, right? Need a certain ways and distribute the right task. High schoolers could be really capable, right? Really capable. If you can break down the task to a manageable size of task and have very clear instructions, they can do it. So I think that's fundamentally the philosophy of today's hybrid AI concept, and product we are rolling out is we do this routing or orchestration layer, and really to look at for these specific tasks, and is this simple enough, or is this very complex, and then do we need leverage frontier models and to do some decompositions, and then we allocated the right pieces to the local and to the cloud, and then combine them together. So there are a lot of aspects to it, right? So first, the first one is cost saving. So let's assume, right? We are doing some coding work, and there's nothing super, confidential. But still, if you're running everything on cloud, and it will cost a lot. That's why you have to offload some simple task to local.
Right.
And and then another aspect is if the work involves a lot of confidential data, then how do we design a way to ensure a confidential communication? It's like the supervisor teach the small models and to look for the right informations, and put some structure to it, and the local model will never disclose any real data, and local information to cloud. So those are the, different considerations and the design aspect to this hybrid solution.
I feel like I'm already doing a version of this where I'm using, Fable as my orchestrator, and then I am having it, like, once it's figured out exactly what the task needs to be, in a coding example, like to follow your example, I'm then having it offload the work to a lesser model, or in some cases, a cheaper model like Codex, which is not that much cheaper, right? It's still frontier level, but I'm sending it off to Codex over the cloud, and it's having it do some of the work to save some of my Fable budget. Because as we talked about earlier, you have a limited usage that you have for the like top tier models, and so sometimes I'll be sending it off that way. But I know people who do that with local models, and I think that is a pattern that's very very repeatable. And I think that should be what we should go for. Is like, yeah, you have the top tier intelligence that you can use and call on demand, and then you can farm it out to smaller models, or preferably local models that can do some of the stuff on your device.
Yes, and we saw some use cases that people even say they, like after the task being decomposed, basically. And a lot of this repetitive work, it's better to be run on local because you don't worry about the tokens and all that. And then you can run more experiments and to do a deep optimization to kind of scan through all kinds of different possibilities. So we saw a lot of user comments around that.
Nice.
I'm kind of wondering what, in the hybrid setup like you're talking about, what things like specifically make the decision of whether this should be handled in the cloud or down here? Because I assume this is happening in real time at some level.
Who's the traffic controller?
Yeah, who's the air traffic controller, and like what sets its its rules, constitution of sorts to know what goes where and make sure everything's in the right runway.
Yeah, love the question. Yes. So that's the orchestrator or router, that's the design. So across the industry, there are a lot of efforts actually doing this research, model routing. Like Grant just mentioned, across even multiple frontier models, and which one do we use for certain tasks? That's on the frontier side. And on the hybrid side is, which one goes to the cloud model you choose, or, which one goes to the local model you use and all that. So routing is a very big research area, very active. So currently, the approach we are taking is, to really, in a way, is doing a classification, meaning we look at this task and classify it into, this is a simpler task this local model can really handle, and this is much more complex model, and we needed the bigger model, on-prem or cloud model to handle. But it's just in principle it's like that, but a lot of details, a lot of aspects to consider. For example, like the confidentiality. So if this query involves a lot of confidential information, then where do you route, and do you do PII information reduction and go to cloud or not? So those kind of considerations, and so another aspect of this routing is especially for local, because the local could have a lot of multitask concurrent task going on. Then does it have currently at this moment have enough resources and to support this, right? So a lot of this kind of considerations are baked in, and real-time sensing all these changing factors and making the decisions.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So suppose you have this workflow built and items chained together. What happens when something breaks? There's a kink in the process. Is there it feels like this essentially chain and nest. If something breaks, it could be a bigger problem than it would be when you're dealing direct with just one model.
Yeah. Actually, what you're touching is the fundamental problem in AI. AI make mistakes and agents sometimes lie.
Mm.
Not sometimes, lie all the time.
I had one being lazy this morning I kept arguing with.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, for example, the execution plan is laid out, this agent has to call these tools, go search that information and whatsoever, and then report it. I'm done. Success. But it never called that tool. It never called that tool,
It never did it.
Yeah, never get it, but it just lie back right at your face. Success.
That was my conversation this morning.
Totally.
I was having it assess our previous videos. And it's like, okay, there are 644 of them left to go. I'm going to start. And I come back and it's like, they're all done. And I looked in its traces and it's like, looked at 32 videos. And I was like, hey, you didn't either. And it's like, no, I sure didn't. You're right.
Exactly. It happens all the time. That's why, across industry, there's a lot of efforts going on with how to hardening the agent harness, to put the process, audit and looking engineer. A lot of work, and to make sure agent is being monitored and being traced and doing the right things there. It's always, this trajectory can be, can be logged and found and all that. So it's same thing for the orchestrator or router design, and we have to make sure everything is being properly designed and logged, audited, and there's always a retry, fallback. Make the whole solution has to be robust, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit more about how you've been implementing this with SuperClaw. Am I right to assume that SuperClaw is built off of OpenClaw, or is it parallel to OpenClaw? How do they relate to each other?
Yeah, actually, so SuperClaw is Intel's agent platform, and we aim to use it to help users, help our customers, and to really take advantage of AI agent workflows, and also customize for themselves and utilize different modular IPs for their own designs. So that's the purpose of it. So how we designed it is we utilized OpenCode as the framework. It's not OpenClaw, because we chose it carefully across all these, community solutions, because it's more towards the production qualities, active support and all that. So we built on top of it, and then we did a lot of innovations and the work around it, and to make sure the deep optimization of because OpenCode is originally still designed for cloud, right?
Yeah.
So they are more suitable for a much bigger, frontier model. And once you want it to work for smaller models, and you have to customize a lot of things and make sure that this harness really adapts to the smaller size of model capabilities. And we also add, governance and security aspects of components and all that, to really hardening the whole design and make sure it delivers a very good experience. And we also, our aim is pretty high, and we are not trying to say, okay, this is another community DIY thing. You're getting it and you use it, right? And we try to deliver a high quality. So when user get it, and it's really, it's robust, and it give you high quality answers. So we use a lot of this cloud level of benchmarks and data set, and to drive the development and the quality check and iterations of our software. So it showed pretty good results, like for example, pinch bench, Office QA, router, and all that. So I know there's a lot to improve, but I think we want to deliver very good experience, and the bar is high.
I thought you were
Yeah.
saying there's a lot of benchmarks, and I was going to agree with you. Like, yeah, there are.
There sure are.
Oceans of benchmarks.
Actually, that's an interesting
Everybody
question.
has a benchmark now.
How do you decide which benchmarks you're going to go after, or which ones you care about? How do you decide?
Yeah, so actually, because not a single benchmark can really cover all kinds of usages, so we we tend to curate different benchmarks and try to do more comprehensive testings and optimization across different benchmarks, cover different aspects, with the time limit.
Yeah,
That's important.
Yeah.
With the time limit.
Yes.
Fair.
Yeah. And we also, comply with a lot of this industry kind of like, big trend, a lot of competitive analysis. And so most of them converge to, like a one top benchmark. And then we use that as the final result report out, right? Because we want, and not only just a report out the result, and we publish the kind of testing scripts and all that to our customers, partners, so that they can repeat the testing, repeat the results. We just want the whole design to be reliable, transparent, and trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So now that the first official public beta is out in the wild for SuperClaw, what can someone meaningfully do with it today? And is there anything you hope the beta will be able to show or prove to you?
Yeah, so let me maybe quickly show you where you can find it.
Yeah, let's see it.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so this is the public web portal, aibuilder.intel.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, so and so this is the web portal, public is facing, and everybody can access. So we put a lot of information out there, including our mission. So we really want to deliver what we discussed, right? The cost, the trust, and the sustainability. We want to enable users to utilize the intelligence, utilize the AI without sacrificing all that we just talked about.
Right.
And then if you want to try it, and you can go to SuperClaw, and this is the dedicated downloading page. And we put the installers and things like that right here, and you can download and give it a try. And here are the different agents associated, being incorporated into this release.
Mhm.
And if you need more information around testing script and the config, and the modular designs and all that, and we have public GitHub, and it's also right here, and you can utilize or browse through. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Wait, so because it's totally open source? Am I
Like
accurate in saying that?
And an open beta?
Like anyone can contribute to it, or just anyone can see the code?
Yes, this is not completely open source, but we open sourced part of it.
Okay.
And because the core algorithm being actively developed, and we are also working with our customers, partners, the commercial paths. So that's why it's not fully open sourced yet. But
Yeah, makes sense.
like I said, we openly share all these modular designs and IPs and all that for the customers, and everyone can build on top of it. It's through APIs. It has two aspects. The first aspect is it is directly user facing. So basically after you download it, and you can immediately use it. And I'll tell you some interesting stories. We today in AAA as a developer team, and we use it to find issues within our code base.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
we talk to
awesome.
it. Yeah, we talk to it like, okay, you look at your own code base. It's like, we designed this whole thing. It's like a closing for you. Where do you feel like it fit? Where it's not, right?
Yeah.
So we keep work with this agent, SuperClaw itself to improve itself. And
That's
a lot
awesome.
of our developers also use it to pair with different skills and to fetch the latest AI news and to fetch the latest code change every morning. Wake up in the morning, okay, what happened to the code base? Who merged what? So there's a quick summary. So in a way, our team, we all just use as a day-to-day assistant today already for
That's
the
awesome.
development. That's one aspect. You download it, you can use it and plug into your code base, and you can, because the code base won't go anywhere, right? It's
Right.
there. And then secondly, it's very much developer friendly. So we purposely designed it in a way like each module is plug and play. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, we talk about the orchestrator router module itself is one IP. And so actually customers can use it to plug into their own harnesses stack, but help them to control the traffic.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and some other IPs as well, you use it as a sidecar or microservices plugin and just as a agent independent agent work for you.
Yeah.
I noticed that also that you had like 4 different agents that you called out. You have the the deep research agent, you have an email agent, and a code agent. So for people who maybe aren't developers, they can use one of those other agents as their personal assistant, like you just recommended, and it's fairly straightforward for them to set that up. Could you maybe walk us through that process?
Yeah. So all those agents are kind of like independent agents. You can pick one agent, talk to it. For example, the reason why we designed this email agent is we want it fully local, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to design a hybrid email agent. Like what goes to right? So
Yeah.
that is purely local, but you can hook it up with right now we use it. For the first one, we enable the Gmail and you connect it and talk to it, ask your email, highlights or urgent items, things like that. So give you another example. For example, this, hybrid deep research agent. That is another agent, right? Again, you can click to it and directly talk to it. And so this agent, why we designed it is really, I think it solves a big problem. Big challenge for a lot of people. Like we love, Cloudy, Perplexity, and ChatGPT, and to do this deep research for us. Like
Yeah.
you have a topic and you want to find, what's the best AI video editing tools and how to sequence them, what's the best price, how do I pair them together, right?
Yeah.
Probably that's what you want.
That's right.
Right? And you want them to do deep research, not just the search for a second to give you an answer. You want all the comparisons and all that. And you want a very in-depth report. But sometimes, right, this report need to be generated in a way by combining both local and cloud information together. Because let's see, if you are a CFO and you want to look at the next quarter or next year market trajectory and your own company's data and how do we best positioning, right? How do we spend? Where do we invest? Inevitably, you need AI to look at your own data, which you cannot let a cloud AI to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Because
So
even if you have a data policy with OpenAI or whatever,
you
there's no
can't.
guarantee. There's somebody who reviews it for safety. That guy could potentially trade on that information. And if you're a public company, the cat's out of the bag. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's a hypothetical scenario. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that actually happens, but you know what I mean? Like there's risks involved with doing this.
There's a lot of what ifs. Yeah.
Yes. Like any CIO won't allow that, right?
No.
So basically, I don't know about your policy, but for me right now, like I couldn't upload anything to those cloud AI engines.
It was
just
that way for a while for us too, but over
Yeah.
time we've
softened our stance.
we've given in.
No,
We've given over to the machines. Sadly.
we can't. It's just a strict block. You can't.
Yeah.
You don't even try. You cannot.
Yeah.
So then, but we still want those type of in-depth report. How do we do it? It's a big question, right? And then we carefully designed a process, like I just mentioned, and designed a way to doing this confidential communication between local and cloud. Like this is the high schooler, and this is like the seasoned, worker, and then without telling, all the data, sending all the data to the supervisor, and the supervisor can draft out a plan. Okay, like for this report, and how many sections do we need, and how much information do we need to gather, and how much information we can find from cloud and the web search and all that, how much information we needed to find from local, and we design schemas and all that, so that, by iteration, cloud model will advise the smaller models and to fulfill the tasks. So it's a pretty clever design, and we make sure there's no data leakage, but we still deliver up to like 90% of the quality compared to cloud only frontier model. You think
That's
about
big.
the best suppliers in the whole world who can do this deep research. Yeah, I think the number comparison was for Office QA, I think the frontier, the best solution, best in class in industry is 76%, and the ours is 68 or 67, something like that. So
Nice.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so I think those are like for the individual agent level. And then if you don't want to like specifically pick any agent to directly talk to, and you want default agent to route your different question, and you can directly talk to the default agent, and it has this agent orchestrator behind it, so it will dispatch the tasks to different agents to do web search and to do emails or deep research. So that's another way of using.
What I like about this is that you're basically creating systems to solve problems that you actually have. Like you're like, hey, my company policy is I can't share any data to these cloud models. So how can I create a deep research agent that still uses my data that I want to reference, but then complies with my policy? It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting. Something I'm curious about is when you look at benchmark results talking about how local processing can reduce cloud token consumption overall, at least for specific workloads, what should an enterprise, or even a small business for that matter, be measuring to determine whether hybrid AI is saving them money or just shifting costs into hardware and management instead of tokens?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because for cloud, low maintenance, use it, right? If you don't use it, stop it. But then for the investment of the local, and you have to invest on the hardware devices, and that's a one-time cost. But it's like everything else, right? This is like an overall trade-off in life in many aspects, right? You want to continue.
You either pay up front or you pay,
in which bucket do I put my money?
Yeah. But like we talk about, if the trends hold true, and And, in the very near term, and the individual household, and companies, big, small, and can actually comfortably host we call it intelligence hub, right? And that is very fundamental transformation of everything we do today. And, we'll have all kinds of AI appliances and devices running around in our household.
Yeah.
But you need a intelligence hub to become the gateway. You cannot no matter anything, you just go to cloud. It doesn't make sense, right? You have to have that gateway solutions, direct the traffic, escalate to cloud or when needed. And the similar things to, enterprises and companies. It becomes, I believe, the future will be not like one general agent can serve all. And then look at our app store. How many different, thin slices, vertical applications. I know we were talking about like weather forecasting. I know we all have that. But if you live in Florida, you need a specific hurricane forecasting.
Yeah.
Or California, where I live, right? You need wildfire, you need watch duty. Yeah.
Exactly. And today we still see a lot of this, enterprises users and all that haven't fully, adopt UI, AI and then bake all that into their day-to-day workflow. The reason is it's not specific enough. And like you guys are doing video editing. There's no such a thing as you go do it, agent. No, you have to hack, right? Manually piece together many, many, many different AI tools and tweak, and you spend a ton of time. I play with it. I know the pain. So imagine there will be a lot of this type of vertical agent, and it truly, you tell it what to do, and you just need to, more, give the instruction around the taste, right? Yeah. Around the, how it looks, feels, and all that. And instead of manually try to hook things together. So I think there will be a booming stage of such, very much refined, polished vertical agents, agent application coming to the world. So, and
I think
then,
that's right.
Yeah, with that, then you think about one department, they may have 10 people. They do one thing. And why do they need a humongous general AI to serve them? They just need that, one specific vertical agent. And that can be capsulized mostly in devices and serve for 10 people, and another department doing something else, and that's a different thing.
And most of those don't even need a state-of-the-art model. The truth is, the vast majority of work today can be done with much, much smaller models. Like when you think of it in terms of breaking things down into tasks and looking at the different parts, you could do smarter resource allocation could save so much money and so much rate limit.
It's just, I will say the tricky part for me personally is you just don't want the agent that you use to fail at the task. You don't want hallucinations. You don't want it to be too stupid to get it done. So that's why we default to the higher intelligence model today. But once you can trust that the smaller models are, intelligent equivalent, once we solve some of these edge cases, then you're right. There's going to be an explosion of vertical models, I think.
Yeah. And, the other day I met a brilliant professor, and now he's a startup founder. So his focus is all about cognitive learning, about how to build intelligence. So our conversation is around just like what you said. Today, actually, look at all this frontier model. The intelligence level is pretty high, right? It's right? It's really high,
and has been for several generations even.
Yeah, but then why can't we put it to work, serious work?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about the analogy, and let's see if you agree. I feel like it's like we have, college students graduate, but they haven't been through all these serious trainings for different specific domains. They have no domain knowledge and no hands-on practice and no, specific know-hows and all that. So that's the last mile. And how do we train college students into an experienced worker and fast? And that's the last step of put agents to real work.
Right.
And that's the domain specific. And how do we get there? And a continuous learning.
So that totally everything that you said, I think, is 100% true. And I think we've seen with the new models that come out that they can only focus on so much, right? You can't specialize them too much in one area because of the architecture. It will have this thing called catastrophic forgetting, where it will forget the good things that it learned early on in its training if it specializes too far in any one direction. So it's sort of like that, a radar chart where it like, you can have all of these like lines going off towards different specifications in a circle, but you can't go too far in any one direction or it'll like lose some of the skills from another direction. So for example, a lot of them are really good at coding now, but they're not as good at writing. And we think they haven't been good at writing, the frontier level ones, for like a little while, ever since they've been focused on coding. And everyone's like, what's this about? And, I think it has to do with this, like you go too far one direction, you can't specialize enough to be specific. So
and it has to also bake into like this domain specific experience, because they have specific, practice and workflows and, all those practices. And like you said, how to make sure agents do not lie and really deliver to the quality and to the promise. I think all that trainings has to happen in the next 1 to 3 years, because that determines, in my opinion, whether AI will go big or it will go the other way around. Because the big promise of AI is greatly enhance humans' productivity. And in simple terms, they have to work. Do real work, right? Do real work. So I think we are, in this mission and to make these devices, make the, building platforms available so that we can have more developers can utilize, such devices, platforms, and to build this vertical agent and truly make AI useful, reliable, right? And can carry on a lot of repetitive work, for different industry verticals, and fundamentally improving the productivity and
doing it sustainably, not burning.
Sustainably.
Not burning 100, so all these tokens, over the cloud. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Well, Dr. Zhu, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's just so easy to talk to you, and I feel like it's just we are having a coffee chat. It's it's a lot of fun, and especially you guys are very much hands-on on AI, so we are like a click. Just like that, right?
Well, you'll have to come hang out more often.
We'll have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, where can viewers go to try SuperClaw again and check out your Intel hybrid work?
aibuilder.intel.com.
Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent. Well, thanks again. If you liked today's video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Neuron's other projects, including our daily newsletter read by more than 700,000 people just like you. Also, the Neuron Academy, where you can learn all about AI and how to use it in your work and life, as well as our newest sister newsletter, Robotics Insider. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Farewell for now, humans.